everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jasmine, also known as the Psychic Mummy, part of the Eternal Circle. Today I'm doing a spirit guide painting. I was asked to do this, so I'm more than happy to do this. I ended up getting this, I don't know, hard to see with the lighting. Deer still needs some work. But what stepped forth for this individual was a deer and a sea turtle and an eagle as their animal totems. The spirit guide that stepped forth was a woman, pardon me, I'd say probably in her 30s, around there, age looking wise. Of course, spirit guides can be much, much older than what we would think that they are, obviously. So we have a lady who kept her hood up for a while, and I'm like, okay, are you wanting me to paint you with your hood up? And she decided, okay, well, I'll take my hood down. I'm like, okay. Well, then what does she do? She decides to hide behind a bunch of plants. I'm like, so you're going to exchange the hood for a bunch of plants in your face? Well, okay, I guess I could do that. So then later, she decides to get rid of the plant and just sit down on this stump in the woods with a bit of sage in her hand. And I'm like, aw, see? It wasn't so hard, was it? And she just kind of gave this kind of like quiet, smirky, kind of playful face. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So the guide is a healing type of guide that came forth for this person. And this guide kind of strikes me of very much on like a herbal root of things, very much in touch with everything nature-wise. So knowing about the plants and what plants do what, which is very telling about the person who is receiving this painting. So looking for medical sources that are from a herbal perspective might be better for this person versus saying versus going with traditional medicines, or what have you, or has an interest in the study of herbology itself. So I haven't gotten the chance to really get talking with this guide as of yet. So far she's shown me the forest. Like when I met her, she was standing in like this very nice green patch, very bright, very sunny, very warm, lots of big trees around her, lots of different plants. There was sage that I could pick out, lilac, I could smell it, rosemary that was growing. There was other herbs that I'm not familiar with. I think there was some yellow yarrow in the background as well, which I'll be painting in here somewhere. And there was other herbs and whatnot that she was tending at the time of me meeting up with her. And she, of course, gave me the animals that she wanted me to project into her painting. I told her because of the fact that it was like a close-up type of painting that I wouldn't be able to fit it into the scene that she was wanting. So she just said, no, we'll do that. I'm like, okay. So we have a deer. Okay. We have the turtle. And we have the eagle. The turtle is representative of good luck. Very good sign of good luck. Okay. Turtles are often looked at as the symbol of beat the odds. Okay. They're about endurance and patience, and they are also also looked at as wisdom. Okay, and that goes with like most turtles. Okay, because they tend to live a long lifetime. Okay, for the eagle we have courage, we have hope, and we have release from bondage. So like release of restrictions on oneself, restrictions on from other people. Okay, that type of idea. And then we also have the deer, which is about unconditional love. Okay, just trying to figure out which one here. There we go. There's about unconditional love. Once again, it's also a sign of good luck. All right. About mindfulness and gentleness as well. There is a difference between both the stag and the doe. So the painting is of a doe, right? And that's the symbology behind the doe. Okay. So I'm figuring out how to work with this paper. This paper is new. So I've been kind of figuring out how to work with it. It's not like my old paper. So I mean it's working out. I think I have a little bit of a hate on for it because it's not the old thing, right? I'm kind of particular on my paper and particular on my paints, right? So when I switched paints, I was like, oh, they better be good paints, right? It's the same with switching with paper. I'm like, oh, better be good paper, right? I mean, it's okay paper. It's not the same. Like to me, it has a different kind of texture or feel for when I'm painting it. And it's certainly not as forgivable as my other paper. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm painting for next time. Doesn't mean it's going to be a low quality painting, it just means that this was an experience. So there's a lot of, I think the herb that she had growing beside her is rosemary. They're long stalks with a purple flower on the end of it. Sage is that way too, but the purple flower is different on how they bloom. Okay. This is rosemary that is growing in beside her. So I'll have to look up the healing properties of rosemary. Usually, now that I'm finding about the herbs and stuff, usually if they're going to be throwing herbs in here, it's going to be some kind of symbology of some kind of area where they want you to look at adding something to your diet, or maybe a suggestion. Once again, I'm not a medical professional, so always consult your doctor or herbologist. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. I am not a medical professional. I just paint what I see. I just do what I do. I don't dabble in the affairs of the medical or the law. That's the way of it is. Okay. So she's not exactly Aboriginal, but she's not exactly Caucasian. Okay, she's half in that skin tone. She does have this white marking above the bridge of her nose. So I don't know if that is related to her own tribe, or if that's just related just to her personally, or how you would be able to identify her as being your spirit guide. Okay, she does have this really cool crystal necklace on. It's like this greeny blue stone in it, which I did find out what it was. It took me a while to be like, that's not a stone I've seen before. And trust me, I've got a lot of crystals, so I've never come across this one, which I find very interesting. So the crystal on this one is called a diopside. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's interesting because it's usually used for ceramics, I guess, in glass making. Just trying to pull up the healing overview of this. So I guess what it does is it assists recovery from surgery, trauma, or severe illness, teaches the value of trust and forgiveness, stimulates your intellectual faculties, and increases your awareness of the love of divine. So this is definitely a stone that you would not put in water. That would not be good. Don't do that. So there's a rare variety called violin, which is in some localities in Italy. So I'm almost wondering if maybe that might be a violin, because it looks green, but there was kind of like a rudine crystal with some sharp blue edging in there. Like I said, you'd have to find out. So they're saying that it's typically blue, bright pale green, greenish brown, blah. Stone supports cellular memory and hormonal balance, physical weakness, and alkaline balance. Beneficial for inflammation, muscular aches and spasms, stress in kidneys, and the heart. So depending on the tone, it can enhance the healing of the heart, lungs, and arteries. Improves blood circulations through the body. It can correct and lower high blood pressure. and it's usually good for general healing. Usually good for like regeneration, such as surgery or physical trauma. Okay? So that's interesting. Ah, that's why my deer looks so strange. It's because its ear was too big. Trust the process. I really like how my eagle turned out. I was actually quite surprised. I'm like, oh my god, I painted a bird that looked like a bird. Oh my goodness. I had my flashcard event today. I think it went well for the most part. Got a little booed there, but from actual Facebook, but not, people. I know there was a couple people where they're like, oh, I don't understand. I'm like, oh yeah, well, the information will sink in eventually. Sometimes the information that when I read, it's like, it's information that doesn't catch up until later on. I think that happens with some readers. It's information that doesn't catch up until later on. Her eyes are actually very cool, by the way. I'm switching subjects again, sorry. Her eyes are not normal color like what we'd have. Her eyes are actually purple. So I'll just, I guess what I can do is paint some of the skin tone. So that way I can give you an idea of what she kind of looks like. Just have to kind of put the skin tone together if I can. I'm not going to stay down here too long. I've been down here for about 2 hours this afternoon, and it's actually quite bothered my hip and my spine. I had spinal surgery last week, so I think after sitting here for 2 hours, I think after about like an hour, I was like done. I should have canceled the rest of the flashcard event, but I just didn't want to. But I should have. I feel bad, but I should have. So add more water to that. Because, like I said, she's not. Very quiet healer herbologist you got. Very friendly. If you do study plants, then obviously she's the one that's standing there watching you studying them. Yeah, look at the size of paintbrush I'm working with. I don't know why, it just brings more comfort to me that I can use this type of paintbrush to paint with. Probably because I don't want to like go over the lines and stuff of what I'm painting. I mean, obviously for background stuff, then I use a bigger brush, but when it comes to like faces or what have you, then I'm more prone to use a smaller brush. It's more time consuming, but I'd rather not make much of an error when it comes to doing what I do. And I'm pretty sure a spirit guide would not be happy if I made so much error. Yeah. There we go. Getting the face done here. Slowly but surely. I could, this might take a couple of layers to do, but okay, they're done. Just that way it can be the right color. I hate when that happens. Big drip of water. So today in Ontario, we've had a quite overcast, non-super sunny day, but it has been very sticky and muggy and unpleasant. It looks like it's about to rain now, so that might actually help my joints just a wee bit, which I'll be looking forward to. And plus then my plants will get a nice little treat as well. I actually watered the garden last night. I know I'm not supposed to, but my plants look thirsty and I felt bad for them, so I'm like, here guys, have some water. Does that feel better now? I'm just finishing up on this part here and then I'll probably end the video. As far as spirit guide or past lives go, if you want to have your own done by me, by all means, you can send me a message through Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and I'll be very happy to take that order for you. All I need is a picture of your face, and then from there on, I can do the painting. The reason why I need the picture of your face is so that way I can connect and be able to bring the information forth for you. The difference between a spirit guide is that I don't really talk to spirit unless to the spirit guide unless it's like the very end, only because that's usually by the time I'm doing the write-up for them, and that's when they're more inclined to sit down and relax with me and start talking to me. It's because they don't really want to interrupt the process of my painting too much. If it's really important, then yeah, they'll sit down and really gab. And some spirit guides, they understand, like, oh no, we'll just wait. Other spirit guides are right up and full of talk, and I feel like the spirit guide in particular, she's like, no, I'll wait till you're done. I'm good. You know, like, I'll just wait. I'm chill. I'm good. Like, she's really shy. Like, she's a shy bug, and she's cheeky. She's really cheeky. Like, she has some play in her. Very playful, like child playful, fairy-esque kind of playfulness to her. She's not fairy though. She just has that same kind of feeling, that same kind of vibe, that same kind of energy. But she is different, for certain. Very lovely, lovely to be working with her. A very calm energy, which is nice. It's very cool to be working with different spirit guides on so many different levels, because each spirit guide brings in a different energy and a different attitude, a different vibe, right? So it's very interesting that way. Past lives and spirit guides, there's cases where you can have multiple spirit guides, and there's cases where you can have multiple past lives too, right? So it's very interesting. Like, I could do one past life for someone, but I could probably do another one, and do another dive and see if there's another one floating around and probably find it. Same with spirit guides. Spirit guides, they can change hands too, right? Depending on the situation we're going through in our life. So it really just depends, right? So like this spirit guide here, I assume has been around for a while and will continue to be there for a while. Just to be there, just to be supportive of anything, and be able to give that healing that is needed for their individual, their, client. To me, spirit guides are almost similar to caseworkers, right? They take on a whole bunch of different people at once and go, okay, I'm going to be working with so-and-so today, or I'll be working with so-and-so from this time to this time, and then I'll go back to that person at this time and this time. So it's very interesting, I find anyways. So we've got some paint on her face, so that way she's not still blurry. Darn lighting. Makes me sad. But if I zoom in, maybe not so much. So by the time I'm finished her, I will definitely do a quick little video and then probably pair it with the next spirit guide that I have, and that will be the last contestant spirit guide I'll be doing. So I hope you enjoyed it, and she'll probably be all ready to go in the next day or so. Alright, much warmth. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.